I want to go with Michael in Connecticut. You're live with Eric and Thomas. How are you doing?
Hey, I'm doing fine, thank you.
Oh, awesome. What do you want to talk about today?
So I wanted to bring something to your attention because for the most part, you guys are pretty much adroit in dealing with the less nuanced and less perspicacious theists.
Okay.
I'm a trans-theist and I'm an omnist. And I specialize in a holistic interface where science and spirituality converge. I've been studying it for about 20 years. And one of the things to which it basically staggers my imagination about is that
Michael.
atheism...
Michael.
Yes.
It sounds like you've got this practiced, and I hate to get you off your...
No, I get this a lot. I talk really fast.
But you said where science and what converge?
Science and spirituality converge.
What does that mean?
So what happens is that recently, within the last probably 15 to 20 years, there's been an emerging new field of science, one of which is called consciousness studies and the other which is called transpersonal psychology, which established the empirical factual existence of psychic phenomena.
Wait.
Empirical.
Which one of these fields?
The empirical and the factual existence of psychic phenomena.
So actually, I have someone who's very well versed in psychics sitting right next to me today. You called at the right time.
We're not talking about psychics. We're talking about independently verified laboratory control conditions under military observation.
Are you talking about Project Alpha?
No, I'm not talking about Project Alpha. I'm
What are you
about
talking
research which was commandeered by David Morehouse, who himself was basically a member of the U.S. Army's Intelligence Security Command and Defense Intelligence with the agency's Directorate of Science and Technology. And they actually operate between 1987 and 1989 a series of experimental investments, which established that psychic phenomena was real, had military applications.
Hey, Michael.
Yes.
Is this like the men who stare at goats?
No, it's not.
Okay.
No.
I want to stop you right here because during those days, I'm not sure if the project that you're describing is different, but I do happen to know personally a psychologist named Dr. Ray Hyman, who he worked with the Department of Defense, and he was called out to go and investigate psychic phenomenon to see if there was actually anything there that worked, to see if it had any military application, to see if they could put people in rooms and do sensory deprivation on them and see if they could actually tell what was going on in, a Soviet research facility or something. And he went out and he investigated it, and he found that there was not anything. There was no functionable intelligence, and the U.S. military discontinued the program and declassified it shortly after.
See, what you're basically talking about is that when you're dealing with, that's a logical fallacy, first of all. You're introducing anecdotal evidence on the side of a study.
Isn't that what
you're just derailing the conversation by introducing somebody else's personal report?
No. This is not anecdotal evidence. This is the result of their study, of their findings.
So
this is a PhD. He is a psychologist, and before that he had actually worked as a magician and psychic. And he knew how people were fooled.
What's the name of the study? Because otherwise, you're just basically providing material evidence that's unsubstantiated.
Look up Project Alpha.
He's
giving you the name. Shut up for a second, Michael, and you'll hear it.
Do a Google search on Project Alpha, and Project Alpha was the Alpha Kids. It was Project Stargate was the military one, and if you look up Project Stargate or Operation Stargate or it's something Stargate, and it was the CIA and the Department of Defense.
I'm familiar with that. That's not the study that I'm actually making a reference to.
No, that's the study that he's referencing. So
what I'm doing is I'm correlating David Morehouse's with another study.
Okay, so let's.
Dr. Dean Radin published an entire text consisting of.
This is a conversation. This is not where you talk at us. So I want to converse about this with you. So what?
Okay, so let me just.
What is this phenomenon? No, hold on. What is this phenomena that is empirically proven that you can show us?
Well, what is the phenomena that is empirically proven that I could show us?
Yes.
That's such a vague and ambiguous question.
Because I'm leaving a whole bunch of room for you. Astral projection.
Actually,
is it mind reading? Is it ESP?
How the research? This is not actually even the crux of my argument. This is just basically an aside that we're on.
Okay, then what? Then quit wasting my time, Michael. No, Michael, quit wasting my time. Don't give me ancillary bullshit. I have a whole bunch of people on the line. Give me what you want to talk about.
Okay, so what we're going to discuss today is that you wanted evidence. Or do you want evidence or do you want proof for the existence of God? Which one? Because they're different things.
I mean, both?
Yeah,
either? Let's start with one of them.
Okay, so proof is always a function of logic. For example, if I say all dogs are mammals, Rex is a dog, subsequently Rex is a mammal, all I have to do is set up a series of disjunctive syllogisms to prove the deductive argument is either true or false.
Assuming that the premises are correct.
Assuming that the premises are correct. And so to the degree to which we're capable of doing that, the argument is considered true. So in this particular instance,
hold on, Michael.
From this particular instance, we can actually formulate.
Michael?
Yes.
So I agree with you, and you can give a deductive argument that so long as it internally makes sense, can be...
Right, I'm about to do that.
Well, hold on. As long as it internally makes sense, can be shown to, work, but also not be true, right? So one of them is hard solipsism, right? People say, what if we all live in the Matrix? You can't disprove that, and if you were to logically line that out, it would work, but we don't actually have evidence. It kind of makes sense in a vacuum. So as we're going through this, I want you to know what's going on in my mind. Hold on.
That's not even a one-to-one correspondent with the argument that I'm attempting to provide.
I understand that. What I'm saying is I want you to know what's going on in my mind as you're giving this. Because I want you to...
Let me give you the background information.
To be fair to Michael...
Smart guys, I think you'll be able to follow it.
Real quick, to be fair to Michael, he did ask if we want evidence or proof, and we asked for a proof.
Right.
So I want to hear you out.
For proof, right.
Okay,
so...
let's hear the premises.
And I'm not arguing for the existence of God like Christ or Krishna or Vishnu. I'm arguing for the existence of God as a logical concept, which must necessarily correspond with something that matches the criteria.
Can you define God first?
In order to actually argue for the existence of God first, you actually have to have a substantiated logical concept which is valid, that can actually be graphed onto an empirical observation of some kind.
Okay, hold on. You gave me a bunch of descriptors to something that didn't have a definition. Michael.
Right, so I'm getting to the definition. Which is
Michael.
I'm getting to the definition, because you cannot have logical arguments without definitions.
I agree. So I'm going to lead this, and I'm going to ask you questions, okay? And if you don't like how it's going, you can bring that up. But right now, you're running roughshod over both of us, and I don't like it. So what are your premise? Let's start. How do you define God?
As a maximally great being, which no greater being is conceivable.
Okay. How can you show that is existent in our universe?
By virtue of a syllogistic argument, which is deductive in nature.
Okay. Give me the premises. Let's start with premise 1.
God, by definition, is a maximally great being, which no greater being is conceivable.
That is by your definition, right?
That's by this. Yeah, that is the current definition as per St. Anselm, and it's also been historically validated and scientifically validated.
Okay, hold on. Stop.
Kurt Gödel.
Stop.
And Free University to be consistent and true.
Michael, do you have to get all the little crap in? I get it. I'm actually following you, but now I'm feeling more petty the more you just keep trying to insert crap. Just let's try and keep it as simple as we can, because I want people to be able to learn from this, right? Okay, so Anselm's argument, I'm with you. You said the definition of God is that which is maximally great, to which nothing greater can be ascribed, correct?
Right. Yes.
Okay, so I don't understand how you can get there, and I'll tell you why, right? You get this turtles the whole way down kind of argument. If you say something is maximally great, then I could say, infinity plus 1. And what is greater than that God? Well, that God's God.
Well, this is just a logical fallacy for your appeal to ignorance. The fact that you don't understand how it could get there without hearing the end of the argument doesn't mean that it can't get there. So that's a logical fallacy on your part.
Michael, this is a hurdle that you're going to need to get through because you're talking to me.
Right.
So
previously, when you cut me off, I gave you the scientific evidence. I'll give you the research. I'll give you the research.
Michael,
what you want to look up with.
No, Michael, listen, dude. I'm asking you how you define a thing. Do you think you can research a definition into existence? I mean, some you can. You can do abstract concepts like the number 1. But I also have people call in who say, no, hold on, let me finish. I also have people who call in and say, I define God as like the universe, or I define God as that which is literally interpreted through my Bible. Right?
Okay, I'm trying to answer your question.
How can you do that before I finish asking the question, Michael? It sounds like you're waiting your turn. It's like you're waiting for your turn to talk
and how did I
instead of listening. Okay?
Okay, go ahead.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
So, if I get all of these different definitions for a God, then no, I'm not going to say, well, you're right about your God definition and you're wrong about your God definition. I'm going to say, I will work with you based on the definition that you give me. So,
And
according to your definition,
my definition
Michael,
cannot be pulled out like a magic rabbit out of a hat.
Yes, actually, that's what you're doing. You're defining it into existence. So, number one.
I have to provide you material evidence
Michael,
for how it got there, and you won't let me voice it.
Michael?
Yes.
Do you need that evidence to give me the premises? So you said premise one, that which is maximally great.
Okay.
I'm
so
saying my stumbling block here,
rap.
my stumbling block here is you get an infinite regress.
It's an infinite regress only insofar as you keep trying to cockblock me from providing you with the material evidence that you're asking for. So let me give it to you. There's a research paper by the name of Automating Gödel's Ontological Proof of God's Existence with Higher Order Automated Theorem Provers.
Okay, higher end automated theorem provers?
Automating Gödel's Ontological Proof of God's Existence with Higher Order Automated Theorem Provers. That's where I got it.
Okay, can you describe that to me? How do you get out of...
Free University.
Michael, how do you get out of an infinite regress? Can you explain that?
The question itself is a contradiction in terms.
How so?
And it's a complex question. It's a logical fallacy.
Infinite? No, just because you don't like it doesn't mean it's a logical fallacy, Michael.
No. It's certainly a complex question. Number one, if you're basically asking a question which contradicts itself, which is a trick question, in an infinite regress, there's no entrance and there's no exit by definition. So why are you asking questions which you know to be trick questions in the first place? Because
what you've given is something that would qualify as an infinite regress, which is why I throw it out in the first place. That's why.
So you know that you're asking trick questions in advance. How can we take you to be an intellectually honest steward of atheism?
Steward of atheism? What does that even mean?
The king of the north.
Yeah, I'm not like the Pope of atheism.
Argumentum ad terratum. You know what that is? That's where you mock the argument as a means to cover up for your ignorance of not knowing exactly what it means or to make the other person look bad.
Oh my goodness, Michael.
Let me run the argument because it's clear I've been running ripshod all over you guys. Since we begun.
You have been.
You want me to finish the argument,
you're taking advantage of the kindness of two people who are letting you on their show. So you can either calm down or I'm going to hang up on you. Do you understand what that means?
Yeah,
Ooh,
look,
say it.
Can I make
say
the argument?
Say it.
I want to hear the other two premises.
No.
Okay.
No, I don't, because I want you to tell me, instead of pointing in different directions, instead of saying, well, you need to check this thing out. You said you understand it because of a study. I'm asking you to tell me what that study said so that I can understand it. Okay. How do you get out of infinite regress?
Okay, here's the abstract. Quote, Kurt Gödel proposed an argumentation formalism to prove the existence of God. Attempts to prove the existence of God by means of abstract ontological arguments are an old tradition in Western philosophy before Gödel. Several prominent philosophers, including St. Anselm of Canterbury, Takar, and Leibniz, have presented similar arguments. Mm-hmm. Moreover, there's an impressive body of recent and ongoing work into ontological arguments. So the abstract itself, that's the form of the interest. Okay. Here's the abstract in a nutshell.
Hold on, did you just fit in?
Argument for the existence of God has been formalized and automated on a computer with higher order automated theorem provers. From Gödel's premise, the computer proved necessarily there exists God. On the other hand, the theory...
Show me. I asked you to show me, to describe it, not to read the abstract.
Here's the thing. You can take a logical argument and you could plug it into a computer and it could say, oh yeah, look, if your premises are correct, then, sure, it's logically sound. That doesn't prove the existence of God. That simply proves that you have...
in terms. That's exactly what a proof is.
Sorry, like a logically, was it valid versus sound?
Well,
no. A sound argument is a proven argument. That's a contradiction in terms.
Is it...
Michael? Do you understand why I'm trying to take this slow?
Yeah, because you're getting run over.
Okay. This is what getting run over looks like. Call in when you're not such an asshole. Let's get the next caller.
See, here's the thing, though. I'm pretty sure I know where he's going with this. He's saying...
I don't give a fuck where he's going with this, because don't be an asshole when you call in. If he wants to call in and be an asshole, he can call into the Atheist Experience. But I'm actually sitting and listening and trying to engage with him as a human being. And instead of doing that, he's running on a script at 1,000,000 miles a minute, which is not helpful, not useful, not educational. And the reason why we do this is so that people who are watching can follow along with it, right?
Fair enough.
Yeah, no, what he's trying to do is say, I'm just a hotshot, I'm going to come in and run over your show. Okay, good luck. Find a different show, because that's not what we do here. So, number one, infinite regress. What that means is God is maximally awesome. Okay, what is more awesome than that? Well, God plus one, okay? Or who created God? And who created the God's creator? And, people say, turtles all the way down, or however you want to describe it. Infinite regress is creating an argument wherein the only way out is to give yourself a special exemption. And so we couldn't get through premise one. Try again, and this time, learn to communicate in a way that's effective. Quit being an asshole, dude. Let's move